There are some artists who just feel like they're everywhere, right? They pop up on the radio, on country playlists, they're collaborating with rappers, even hitting the rock charts. Today, we're talking about one of the absolute biggest superstars of the streaming era, an artist who doesn't just bend the rules, he completely rewrites them. And let's just start with a number that's kind of hard to wrap your head around. 9. That's how many Diamond-certified songs Post Malone has. Now, for some context, that means each of those songs has moved over 10 million units. He's in a super exclusive club with people like Drake and Rihanna. It's just an insane level of success. So who is this guy? Well, his name is Austin Richard Post. But of course, we all know him as Post Malone. He's become this total icon of our time, mostly because he blends genres so smoothly that you can't really stick a label on him. He's just Posty. And that really is the big question, isn't it? How did this happen? How does a kid from Texas who loved metalcore and literally learned to play guitar from a video game become this global megastar? Well, let's get into it. Yeah, his backstory is, well, it's not what you'd expect. It all started with this really diverse mix of musical influences that, honestly, shaped him from day one. I mean, this timeline is just wild. He moves to Texas, he tries out for a metalcore band after learning guitar from Guitar Hero, of all things, and then just 5 years later, he completely blows up with a rap song on SoundCloud. The path he took makes almost no sense, but here we are. And see, this is the key to understanding his music. It wasn't some marketing plan to blend genres, it was just his childhood. His dad was a DJ, so he grew up listening to absolutely everything. Hip-hop, country, rock, you name it, that's the bedrock of his whole career. And you'd think his name must have some deep meaning, right? Maybe a nod to the basketball player Karl Malone? Nope. The story is way better. Post is just his last name. And Malone, he got it from an online rap name generator when he was a teenager. You can't make this stuff up. So this is him right around the time his entire life changed. He moves to LA, records this track called White Iverson, and just tosses it up on SoundCloud. Within a month, it had 1 million plays. That one song was a rocket ship that took him from being a complete unknown to signing a major label record deal. Okay, so that viral moment was the launch pad, but from there, things just got crazier. We're talking about total chart domination, a run of commercial success that is nothing short of historic. Just look at this evolution. Each album isn't just a hit, it's a whole new sound. He starts in hip-hop and R&B, then moves into pop rap, starts mixing in rock, and then, just for fun, drops a full-on country album that also goes to #1. That ability to shapeshift, that's his superpower. And we're not talking about just popular songs. We're talking about songs that break the whole system. His track, Sunflower, isn't just diamond, it's double diamond. Let that sink in for a second. It is the highest certified song in the history of the RIAA, period. And then there's the staying power, 61. That's how many weeks his song Circles spent on the Billboard Hot 100. That is over a year of being one of the most popular songs in America. Just incredible. But if you want to really understand the scale of his success, this is the one. With his very first album, Stoney, he broke a record held by Michael Jackson's Thriller. I'll say that again. Michael Jackson, Thriller. He broke a record that had stood for 34 years. But look, when you reach that level of fame, especially as a white artist working in genres pioneered by black artists, you're going to face some intense scrutiny. And this leads us to a really complex part of his story, the accusations of cultural appropriation. And this is the question at the heart of the whole debate, right? Where's the line between paying homage to your influences and appropriating a culture? It's a question the music world has been grappling with for decades, and Post Malone landed right in the middle of it. So the criticism, essentially, was that he was profiting from the sound and style of black culture without really being part of the hip-hop community, earning him that culture vulture label. For his part, Malone has said he feels his race has been used against him, and he's talked about the struggle of being a white rapper. Now, this debate really caught fire after a comment he made back in 2017. He later tried to clarify it, saying, when he wants to have a good cry, he'll listen to someone like Bob Dylan, but that he still loves hip-hop. But that original quote, it definitely sparked a huge backlash at the time. But despite all that controversy, Malone just kept moving, kept evolving, and pushed himself even further into a space where, honestly, genre labels just don't really mean anything anymore. He actually calls his own music genreless. And it makes total sense, right? When you look at his journey, metalcore, grunge, country, hip-hop, he says it's all just a melting pot of everything he listened to growing up. It's not a calculated switch. It's a genuine fusion. And, I mean, look at where he is in the culture right now. He's on a Beyoncé country album. He's got a #1 hit with Morgan Wallen. He's on the lead single for a Taylor Swift album. He's performing at the Super Bowl. He's become this musical bridge connecting all these different worlds. And his latest big move, that full-on country album, F1 Trillion, it wasn't just some experiment. It was another massive #1 hit. He got country titans like Blake Shelton and Luke Combs on board, proving once again that he can walk into any genre and pretty much own it. But what's really telling is that even as he keeps changing, he carries his past with him. Literally, he's got the title of his first album, Stoney, tattooed right under his chin. It's a permanent reminder of the hip-hop album that started it all. So that leaves us with one last really fascinating question. He's done metalcore, SoundCloud rap, pop, rock, and now country. For an artist who seems to have no musical borders, what could possibly be next?